So, why abundant legacy? Well, when I think about the word abundant, think about plentiful, full, blessed, more than enough. And then when you think about the word legacy, I think about the word impact, or even imprint, influence, representation. And so I think about those words when I think about legacy. And so you pull all those things in together, and I think about abounding with impact. And why do I want to do that? Because at the core of me is this desire to glorify God. And so early on, I didn't think I had many gifts or that they were worth sharing. And now I want to be a little bit more courageous. One day, I don't remember when it was, but one day I recognized that if everybody in the entire world only shared their gifts with themselves and their family members, what would this world look like? So, I think it would be dishonorable, and almost it would be definitely be selfish, but to hide every single gift. I think about the story of the guy with the 5 talents in the Bible, where Jesus talks about this guy with these servants, stewards, that were given talents while their boss or their master, whatever you want to call them, I think things are a little bit controversial right now. And so for the sake of all of that, I'll say this guy, this owner, this manager had given 3 of his stewards, or 3 of the people he left in charge, a certain amount of, they call them talents in the Bible, but I'm going to say gifts. And when he returned, he was expecting something of them. And so there's this guy who had a certain amount of gifts, and he doubled them up. And so the owner was like, hey, he did a great job. Like, well done. You're faithful. And this other guy had 2 talents, or gifts. It's like, oh, you did a great job using those and doing what you're supposed to do with those. You're faithful. Well done. There was this guy, I want to say that person was me. And that person was definitely me. But the one, he gave him 1 gift, right? And you think, oh, you got 1 gift. Oh, you ain't got much to do. Just get out there and just use that gift. This guy hid it. And his response was, I've seen what you do to people who fail. That's basically what he was saying. I see what you do to people who fail. And so I was afraid. He says, again, not the literal sense of what he said, but he said, I was afraid, or what I got from it was that he was afraid that if he had failed, that he would be punished. There was this idea that I'm going to be punished if I fail to produce, or if I lose this very gift that you gave me. Again, that was me. And so the owner, the manager, he was like, oh man, you could at least put it in a bank, right? You could at least put it somewhere where somebody else was going to use it, because that's what banks do, if you didn't know. You could have at least done that, right? You could have went somewhere where somebody else could have helped you use it. You could have done something with it, right? And so he takes that gift from him, and he gives it to the one with the 5, the one with the most, because he had already proven that he could handle it. And it seems like that's cruel. It seems like that's very cruel, to take away from someone who only had 1 and give it to the person who has more. But if we think about it closer, like the one with the 1, this was just a gift. He didn't own it anyway, right? He wasn't doing anything with it. And so the sole purpose for the gift was not being used. So it wasn't being used for its intended purpose. It was just collecting dust. And one day I read that and I was like, dang, how many of my gifts are just collecting dust? Now I know there is a prioritizing that needs to happen. You can't be too many places at once. But I mean like doing nothing because of fear. And allowing the just one thing that you know you're good at to just collect dust because you're afraid of what other people might say. That's all I'm saying. Sheesh. Let me see what I can do with what God has given me. And even if I'm not perfect with it, because there's that fear of failure that'll creep in real quick. Even if I'm not perfect with it, what can I do with what I have? And yeah, how can I do something with it, right? Gain something from it. Because the guy with the 2, he might not have been perfect, but he was doing something with it. How can I do something with the gifts that I have? So I started doing a little bit here and a little bit there. Before I knew it, I was better at things. And I got better at stuff. I remember before Mother's Day, I remember last year, not this year, but last year's Mother's Day, I played my mother's favorite song for her. And then after she passed, like I didn't know she was going to pass that soon, but after she passed, I was like, whoa, what if I allowed fear to grip me until I was like 50 or 60 and I missed that opportunity? Or what if I just decided that, you know what, singing and playing in front of people make me nervous, I shouldn't do that. Or it'll never amount to anything, so why am I doing this? Even if it is just a hobby, like why am I doing this? What if I had done that? She was so blessed by that. So that's gonna be one of the highlights in my life. It's like, yo, she turned around and was like, oh, you got really good at this. I really enjoyed this. Play another song. So wish I got it on video, but I think our brains sometimes are good video, and so I journaled it. But yeah, so we're at 8 minutes almost, so I'm gonna kind of cut it out there, but encouraging people to use your gifts. Don't be afraid to use your gifts. And maybe it's not on the level that you might see someone else using theirs on. That is okay. I think the way that we define success shouldn't be based upon what we see, but based upon what we're able to do in that moment. Am I giving all that I have for whatever it is that I'm doing in this moment? Is this all I can do with this? Even if, like, sometimes you have a time constraint, because then you're like, man, no, it's got to be perfect. But I think you'll know if you've given all that you could for that moment, and you give it out, and then you keep working. I remember creating certain things and wondering, or creating something like a video I was doing in college one time, and I lost everything. I had a Toshiba laptop, still scared of those things. It went straight into a BIOS code. I couldn't get the information or the video that I had worked days and hours upon, hours completing. And I finally got to the point where it was just like I was trying to figure it out. Finally, then that if you can create this thing, then you can create something else. And you just keep getting better at it the more you do it. So, yeah. Don't be afraid to use your gifts. Be courageous with it. Be faithful. And live abundantly. So, hopefully you get something from Abundant Legacy. If you do, send some encouragement my way, and I hope to do the same for you. I'm going to keep making videos, whether it's one person watching or 20 million. I'm gonna keep making these videos because I enjoy it, because I feel like it's a gift to do certain things and to share it. And yeah, that's where I am right now. So the next step is to share it with people that I know. It'll be all right. You guys be encouraged. I think I've shared enough. All right. Tell you I be doing a lot. Boy, got on a delivery shirt.